What's up, everybody? This is OG Sage here. Now, I had seen this article about a rumor about Street Fighter 6 coming out, or at least it's in development, and I had a couple thoughts on that. But before I get to that, just quick background on myself. So back in the day, my favorite game was Super Mario Brothers 3. Now, this is back on like the OG NES, and right there, I'm gonna put a pin in it. So you're probably wondering, but I'm gonna come full circle just so you see where I'm going with this. So back to the topic, Street Fighter. And it really comes down to one question, at least for me. Will there be a Street Fighter 10? Will there, in my lifetime, be a Street Fighter 10? And will people debate on what the best Street Fighter is? Is it going to be Street Fighter 10 that's the best? Is Street Fighter 8 the best? Street Fighter 6? Street Fighter 2? Will there be debates like that in the future? And if so, why? I mean, why aren't developers updating rosters? And in some cases, maps. I mean, it is 2020. And somebody needs to ask the question, how many sequels do we need? And obviously, we're not talking about games like Mass Effect or games like The Witcher. Obviously, we want to see those sequels. These are massive open world games. Obviously, we want to see those sequels. But keep this in mind. Average AAA game costs anywhere from 60 to 80 million dollars to develop. And with those type of costs, one has to ask, how long will that business model last? I mean, how long can it last? I mean, are we going to see Mortal Kombat 15? I mean, we're already on Mortal Kombat 11. I mean, in the past, that was okay with the evolution of consoles. I mean, it was skyrocketing. I mean, the 90s, it was pretty crazy. There was so many different consoles. But right now, it's just three: PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. I guess you can say Stadia. But, it's just it's just the big three. And now the evolutions between consoles is not really that big. I mean, for example, the PS4 to the PS5, the leap isn't that big. It's definitely not as big as the PS1 to PS2. I mean, look at the original Tomb Raider game. And when you look at it, the original Tomb Raider game looked like Minecraft. It looked exactly like Minecraft. But when you get to PlayStation 2, the sequel, it looks like a completely different game. I'm talking about the jump from PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2. It was like mind-blowing. Like, we were like blown away when we seen the difference. And that's what I'm talking about. The jump from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 is a much bigger leap than, say, PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, or even PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. And since we know that, it's not going to be a huge leap, and that, releasing a sequel on, say, like a PlayStation 5, it's not going to be so drastically different than this predecessor on the PlayStation 4. Yeah, of course it's going to look better. Of course it's going to run better. There's no denying that, but is the difference going to be that big? I mean, look at Destiny. Look at what Bungie's doing with Destiny 2, I should be saying. They announced that they're not even going to be working on a Destiny 3. They're just going to keep adding content to it. Now, they might not be doing a good job currently when it comes to that, but that's the plan. They're saying we're not doing a sequel. We're just going to keep adding to this game and creating the vision that we initially had. So when I see something like that, this is how I interpret it. They can't justify having a Destiny 3. They can't justify developing a whole new Destiny game when they can just continue to put content into Destiny 2. Which brings me back to Street Fighter 6. And I promise you, this is not a Street Fighter rant. I'm just using Street Fighter to kind of drive in, my point. We have Street Fighter 5, and now they're talking about Street Fighter 6. Can we justify having a Street Fighter 6? I mean, could we even justify Street Fighter 5 when it initially came out? I don't think so. I mean, when you look at the roster, Street Fighter 5 vanilla roster, it only consisted of 16 characters. 8 of those characters were in the previous title, Street Fighter 4, and there were 8 new characters, and some of those 8 new characters were in older Street Fighter titles. And this is coming from a Street Fighter 4 roster of 39 characters. So the question is, why not just add those 8 new characters to the existing Street Fighter 4 roster? Why would you put yourself through a lengthy and expensive development process for 8 characters? I mean, look at sports games. On YouTube, sports games are getting bodied. Like, they're getting torn apart on YouTube because they can't even justify yearly releases anymore. They're being called out for these microtransactions. They're doing, every little thing, to squeeze a dollar out their consumers. I mean, look at the FIFA games. Look at the soccer games, and publishers like EA and their copy and paste tactics when it comes to development. I mean, if you want to call that development, look at the latest Madden title, Madden 21, and a Metacritic score of 0.2 out of 100, the lowest scoring game in history. The fans are fed up because at the end of the day, like, why not just update the rosters on draft night and right after the trade deadlines? But it's not just the sports games, that fall victim to this. It's, the shooters, especially Call of Duty. I mean, why not add new maps and new weapons? Why is it so much to ask to have a Call of Duty game with 50 plus maps and 500 different weapons? Why we need to keep splitting the games up into sequels? I mean, even some racers fall prey to this. They fall into this trap. And all we're really asking is this. It's 2020. When will gamers be released from this infinite sequel loop? When will it end? And I'm not saying at all that there shouldn't be any sequels. I'm not saying stop sequels, no more sequels. But what I am saying is some games, some genres can wait an extra 6 to 7 years before releasing a sequel, maybe even 10 years. But pushing out sequels every 2 to 3 years, Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, I mean, come on. And that brings me back full circle to Mario, my final point. Listen, I've been around since the very first Super Mario Brothers game. And since then, there's been 50, at the very least, 50 Mario games. And remember what I said in the beginning, Mario Brothers 3 was my favorite game. But where I'm at right now, I hate Mario games. I absolutely hate Mario games. Why? I mean, I grew up to the point where I'm at right now. It's like 50 Mario games. And if I live for another 40 years, I'm gonna live to see 100 Mario games. I mean, at some point, any title you like, to the people out there that love Call of Duty, that they swear by it, they defend the bi-yearly releases of. If they got to a point where they had 50 Call of Duty games, you'd be like, you know what? We probably need to slow down. We need to slow down with the sequels. Like, figure something out because this is way too much. I mean, at some point, I'm gonna see Mortal Kombat 22. That's not catchy at all. Definitely not like Mortal Kombat X. That's a catchy name. I mean, I'm gonna see Street Fighter 11. That sounds whack as hell. Developers, y'all doing too much. Like, slow it down, figure it out. Look at like a game like World of Warcraft. Just, I don't even know what to say anymore. All I can say is this. I'm ending with this. I don't want to be in my 80s with grandchildren and they ask me, hey granddad, what's your favorite Mortal Kombat game? What am I supposed to say? Mortal Kombat 27? I don't know, maybe Mortal Kombat 19? I mean, get it. Developers, get it together. This is OG Sage. I'm out.